Happy Leif Erikson Day.
Is that really what they say?
Leif Erikson Day.
Leif Erikson. I don't know who you are, Mr. Erikson, but happy day.
No, it's the Bubble Buddy one.
The one where his bubble buddy is like a businessman, right?
Yeah. Okay, let me get off of this. I can go on forever.
What were you looking up?
Leif Erikson Day. SpongeBob.
Oh, is that really what you typed into the...
Yeah. I typed in Leif Erikson and then it came up who Leif Erikson was, and then I clicked on Leif Erikson SpongeBob.
Oh my god.
And then the like little beard SpongeBob came up. I told you I could go down that rabbit hole real quick.
Well, getting into it today. Bring them out. Bring them out. Today we're talking about something that causes a lot of debates in the youth sports.
Mm-hmm.
Winning versus growth. And is the goal to win tournaments or games, or is it to actually develop and grow as an athlete? What we're questioning today, because sometimes these two things don't always align and happen at the same time.
As a coach, I see athletes chasing medals a lot of the time, and they want to chase like big name schools and scholars and programs, and they realize that they weren't actually improving while they were chasing that. And I feel like that's kind of where what we'll talk about today.
Well, hi everyone. Happy St. Patty's Day, since we are recording at that time, even though this episode won't drop then, which she doesn't have her green on right now. She was in green, so I won't pinch her.
Oh.
But that's why I got my lucky
My
mama
mic is
shirt.
green.
Yes.
There you go. It's part of me now.
Welcome back to another week with us. I'm CiCi.
And I'm Mariza, and welcome back to
Athlete Life Unfiltered.
Today, athletes have a different mindset, I feel. They really only think about the star moments or like the highlight reels. And they don't really see what goes on behind the scenes and the hours that that star athlete had to put in to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
They're really obsessed with the medals, the trophies, the rankings, the stats, the championships, and playing for the best team. And a lot of those athletes today want the results, but let's be honest, they're not always willing to put in the hard work, and that leads them to that end result that they're hoping and dreaming for. So let's break down what it actually means when we say winning versus growth.
Well, in the winning culture, when we talk about the winning mindset in the youth sports, because I agree, they don't want to put in the time, they don't want to put in the effort, they don't want to put in the energy. They want to slack off and still get the win. But we're not talking about the athletes that are wanting to win. Because every athlete should want to win. Everybody wants to win. I want to win.
Yeah, they want that hunger, that drive to win.
I would hope
That's
so.
Not what we're talking about. We're talking about the athletes that kind of expect to win when they don't put in their work.
Right. What we're really talking about is when winning becomes their main measurement of success. They're only looking at the win. They're not looking at everything else in between the failure and the win.
Yeah.
So instead of asking, are athletes actually improving? The question becomes, well, did y'all win the tournament? How many medals did y'all get this season? Looking at the quantity over the quality of it all.
And that's something that athletes notice very quickly when winning becomes the main goal and everything starts to pivot around the best athlete. And the other players start to realize that very quickly. Yeah. And now you're revolving, you're winning around this star player. And it's not developing anybody else's growth. And the playing time, sadly, most of the playing time gets to those star athletes, or the system of the drill or the system of that play is now engulfed by this star athlete. And that kind of puts everybody else on the back burner, and they're not growing. They're not seeing results. They're not becoming better as an athlete themselves.
Or even as an organization, because I've seen it before in a lot of teams that, God forbid that one star athlete gets hurt and can't play. They don't know how to function. They don't know how to act because they're like, I depended on that one person so much to hold us at a certain level, when it should really be the entire organization, the entire team, the entire group of people coming together and being that win, not the individual person.
Yeah, because a lot of the times it'll start being like, instead of developing the whole roster, like you said, then now it's built around this one player. And what happens when that one player is gone, or what happens when they're sick? And you want to start to build that foundation, and not revolve it around that one person.
And this can even bounce back into individuals that play individual sports. So when you're in golf, when you are in singles tennis, even when you're swimming and you're just the only win is off of your performance, are you really worried about just winning, or are you worried about fixing your craft, owning your craft, and making sure that you are growing to be better for the next time, not just the win and now?
Because you're going to see that opponent again.
Right.
And are you going to win the next time? Or are you going to grow from it? You're going to learn from it.
And to be clear, winning is not a bad thing. Competitive athletes should want to win. We said that earlier. Every athlete should have that hunger
drive
built in to them. At least as a coach, I would want that. As a parent, if my kid's playing sports, I would want my kid to be like, I want to win. I want to come out here and give it my all to do the best I can to get to that win. But sometimes winning can become the only thing that we're worried about, which is where we start to get hurt. For example, you'll see teams that there's just a lot of talent on the roster, really skilled team players, and they win a lot of those tournaments and a lot of those games. But sometimes that winning is coming more from just the talent level of the team rather than the actual development happening within the program. So I know we touched base on that, but we're getting into building up what we're going to be talking about, because we dive deep into individual aspects of building the program as a whole, not as an individual. You're going to always have strong athletes in certain sports, be one-offs, but you don't want to just build and focus around that one individual. You want to build and focus with that one individual.
Because, and like you said already, it's not bad to win, but you want to be able to grow and learn from those things so that you can become that star athlete. Because star athletes aren't just built overnight, right? They are the ones who are learning and growing from their mistakes, from their losses, from putting in the extra work at practice.
Right.
So it's not just kind of that plateau player. And that's where it comes back to all of these athletes, is those athletes who aren't putting it in. They aren't putting in the hours. They start getting confused. They're like, man, why aren't I getting better? We're winning a whole bunch of tournaments. Like, we have medals, we get gold every weekend, but then they're like, I'm not getting better. And then they start pondering, and they're looking at their own game, and they realize that they're not growing as an athlete. And what happens when you get pulled from that team, right? What happens when you go to college and now you're on a new team? Are you still going to be that star athlete? A person or an athlete who can grow from the little things will be able to shine in whatever aspect, in whatever playing field that they are put into.
Right. Which we've seen it before, and athletes ourselves who came from high schools that we were able to stand out in. And then we get on a club select team, which on a select team, they're pulling individual athletes from other schools, other areas, and putting the best of the best on one team. And I've come to realize that always doesn't matter. I've had some athletes that I'm like, you individually, you are amazing. But when you start to become a team, you crumble, you fall. You haven't fixed how to combine the growth part of all that, not just being a star athlete and having all this individual power, because that doesn't matter when you play a team sport. When you play a team sport, everybody has to learn how to come together and grow together. It can't just be one person. Yeah. But with the growth part, that's where it becomes super important.
Because then you're growing as a team.
How to grow as a team. That makes the individual you even better.
Oh, yeah. Because then you're uplifting each other, you're learning off of each other's mistakes, and then you're fixing those things internally.
Yep.
You're not waiting for it to happen again. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this next time so that this doesn't happen again. Or, okay, we had this outcome when I did this. Let me change that up next time. Those are the little things in growth that we're talking about to continue to see that winning results and getting those medals that, again, everybody wants, but are you going to continue to work hard or harder to earn or continue to earn those medals?
And from an athlete's perspective of it all, they often believe that if the team wins, I must be improving. Or if I join that top elite team, I'll automatically get better because I'm surrounded by all of these great people. But that comes to my point where everybody can be great and come together. That does not make you better. That does not make you a winning program just because you have all these top athletes.
It's kind of like when you are on a school project with somebody, and like I always like put all my work into a school project, but then you got that one person who's not doing anything, doesn't submit their stuff on time, and then you have to pick up the slack. That can happen in sports as well. You can coast by being a good athlete on a great team, right? You can coast by, you're winning. You may be riding the bench. You might just be on the field, but your stats aren't really improving. You're not getting touches, not like seeing the results that you want to, but you're winning. Like same thing with this group project, right? You're coasting along, riding everybody else's back, and then you get an A, but what happens at the final exam? Like you don't pass, right? Things like that.
You're not really prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Jinx.
Double jinx. I'm just kidding. But the athletes start to think that like winning is that form of success. That's the only way that they're going to succeed is if they win, which is hurts as a coach because I'm like, well, the type of coach that I am.
Because you like to see your player step back, analyze, and say, okay, how can I continue to get better?
I want to see the athlete grow. I want to see them develop in their growth because I love winning, obviously. Like we said, I want to win, but I'm not holding out on the win. I'm like, hey, let's celebrate the small wins. And the small wins could be that we had a goal of getting 10 kills and we got 9 out of 10 kills. Celebrate those small wins. We were right there with our goal, or even got 11 kills and our goal was 10. That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at, oh my gosh, we just lost. Yeah. Oh my God, we didn't win. It sucks. I get frustrated in the moments where we should have won.
Yeah.
But if you go down fighting and working hard, I won't be mad as a coach. I'm going to look at the small things and look at those things that I'm like, y'all, we were getting, our serves were killer. The other team was just on. Or we were getting everything over. We got blocks. The other team was just on.
Or if you take it from like a generalized club approach, right? So if you start from the beginning of a season, right? And let's say you had a tournament and you lost 3 out of 4 games.
Yep.
And then now you're ending towards the end of your season and maybe we only lost 2 games. And so seeing that growth overall with all your players, they don't see that. They're like, oh, we didn't get a medal again. It's like, no.
We're counting the medals when it's like, that's not what we're here for.
It's like, no, you guys were playing scrappy today and you guys picked up every single ball. In the first tournament, y'all that ball that came flying over, you would have let that hit the ground. And today we communicated well. Nothing hit the floor and you hustled hard, which is what we wanted to see with that growth versus y'all went silent. Y'all didn't learn from your mistakes and y'all were playing as an individual, not as a team. So there are ways to see growth as a team too. It's finding that mental mindset of, hey, how can I be better as a athlete to improve the overall game of the sport that we're playing.
Also, the understanding from everybody's side. Parents also have to understand that just as much as the athlete has to understand that. The coaches have to understand that.
It's hard.
It is.
Because how are you going to...
It's
we
hard.
can barely have the athletes to understand it. You're going to make the parents understand too.
Exactly. But that's why we're here and we're talking about it, is because we want everybody to understand that this is how an athlete can develop, is by their outsiders understanding that the growth is more important than only the win.
Because that winning can definitely hide the development sometimes, or the lack of development.
Because you can, that from the athlete side, again, you can be on that winning team, but sometimes in reality they're sitting the bench.
Yep.
Their role might get changed from what they were expected to be playing, and
being able
their
to
playing
learn,
time,
learn from their mistakes. Those are big ways that growth can be focused in the environment with athletes, is doing, like you said, like finding those little things, playing different roles. That can be huge with growth in an athlete, right? Like we've talked about a million times, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you're put in a situation where you have to play a different position or even a different sport, are you going to quit and say, "No, that wasn't me"?
Or I don't know, Coach.
Am I going to stay small-minded, or am I going to be open-minded, and am I going to be open to playing a different position? Yeah. That's that growth that we're talking about.
And that's why, as a coach and a director, and I try to tell my coaches, like, I want everybody to understand the game, not just play the game. We want to understand the game. When I go into something, playing a new sport, if I'm playing softball, I want to understand everybody's role on the field and in the dugout, because if I get put in a certain situation, I'm going to know what's happening. I'm going to know what to expect. I'm going to know maybe the outcome or the growth that I'm needed to do or to have.
That's a good outlook on it, because I feel like I'm a little opposite. Like if I'm pulled into a position that I don't know much about, like if I'm playing a completely different sport, soccer, like I think I would be overwhelmed with having to know what everybody else's role. Just tell me my role. And I will make sure that I'm doing my role and I'm getting better in my role so that I can help out the team. But both are still, you're wanting growth by knowing everybody else's, versus I'm still wanting to grow as that position to help as much as I can.
But in our volleyball world, because that's what our main sport has always been, when you went from middle to right side, you didn't sit there and be like, I don't know, I was only ever in middle. You were like, I know what to expect, I know what to do, I know what my job is, my role is. Yes, coach.
And that played a lot with how I was in practice. It wasn't just like, okay, thrown into the game, go play right side. Right? When I was in practice, I was observing what they were doing.
Exactly.
Even if I wasn't in that drill, I'm like, okay, she's got to transition way out there. That's where that is. I understood the role of that person, so that just in case anytime I would be put in that situation, I knew what I had to do. Same thing when I ran track in high school. I would run the hurdles, but there was one time my coach, throwback to my Dr. Pepper addiction, she was like, hey, I know you only do hurdles and I know you only jump, but we need you, because everybody had already maxed out on their events because there was like a limit or whatever.
Yes,
they're like, you need to run, because we need somebody these last points to get first or whatever in the whole track event. I don't know. Track meet. Yes. And so they were like, you need to run the mile relay.
Oh God, I've done that before.
So I had to run a whole lap. Just one lap. That thing took freaking forever.
It's like one of the last events too.
Yeah, it was the last event, because everybody else had maxed out, and they're like, you're the only one who can fill in, because this girl ran an extra race today and she can't run this race. And I'm like, oh my God. So back to what we were talking about, is I knew how to pass a baton, because I had seen it multiple times. And even when I was at practice sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, she sticked her arm out like this, she grabbed the baton. So I had seen it multiple times. I'd never practiced it, but I was able to do it. Now, was there a different motivation? My coach goes, if you run this, I will get you a Dr. Pepper. Literally,
anything
I got to the J and I was dying. And I was in my head was like, do it for the Dr. Pepper. Do it for the Dr. Pepper. Like sprinting my little scrawny legs across that whole entire lap. I was just like, do it for the Dr. Pepper, do it for the Dr. Pepper. She got me Dr. Pepper. And we won. And we got first place. So you're welcome.
Your coach is better than mine because I had already did my max event because you can only do 5. Yeah. I had already did my 5. I was icing my entire body. And my coach was like, we had a girl drop. We need somebody to run the Maya release. You want to put your shoes back on and take the ice off and let's go. Oh. Again, the most running I did was I think it's called the 800 meter relay. The one that you only run a 200 and you hand off the baton, only run a 200. Like everybody just runs a 200. Yeah. And yeah, it's 800. That was the max limit I would do, 200. 400 meters, girl. I was like, coach, who do I look like? I can't say no. Me. I can't say no. That's when my people pleasing habits started happening. But literally that. It's important to, and it's so good as an athlete to see all that, because as a coach it's like, good, I know I can rely on this one person to get the job done because she knows what she's doing or they know what they're doing. It's so important that you reiterated the fact that you sat there and you watched and you learned and you understood what was happening. Yeah. Not that you were sitting there like, I'm prepared for the day that I get thrown in this event. It's like, cool, I'm watching to learn and understand. Yeah. I'm not just watching, like I tell athletes all the time, watch other people play the sport that you're in. Watch other people play the position that you want to be playing in. Yeah,
don't just be on your phone during
the rest games of the or something like that.
Events.
Or don't just watch and be like, wow, that was so cool. Watch and see their technique and their body movement and how they're looking and what when they're bringing their arm back. And same thing for a baton when they're bringing their arm back, because there's techniques to all this stuff. It's not like you're just like, there you go. Yeah.
And that just feeds into that growth and development and creating a lifelong athlete. A lot of people think, oh, it just stops when I stop this sport. It's like, no, you're creating a lifelong athlete. Like, how many older people now are playing pickleball and tennis and golf?
New sports that they probably weren't playing before.
And so it's like creating that lifelong athlete, that mentality of wanting to grow, wanting to get better. Like, that just kind of feeds all into that.
Right. And sometimes, at least what I'm realizing now when I see other athletes and listening to them talk, is that sometimes I think the winning gets stuck or hidden behind that lack of development.
Yeah. And with the growth, environments often involve those uncomfortable moments that we talked about, the failures. Like, you're learning something new. You're going to fail. It's fine. Growing from it is what we're trying to relay here. And rebuilding from the fundamentals, rebuilding from that base of, oh man, okay, we got our work cut out for us today. How am I going to rebuild from this and come back to tomorrow's tournament stronger, better? Yeah. Right. Finding that growth in that developmental stage, the foundations, bringing it back.
My favorite thing to do as a coach, when I start to see athletes kind of not understand what they're doing, and I'm having a hard time being like, I've already explained it, I've already spelled it out, I've already demonstrated, I don't know what else can I do, but start to relate other sports, because there's so much in common with every single sport that relates to the next. Whatever I do now, I can go out and play pickleball or go play tennis, because there's some movements that mimic, or there's some movements that I'm like, oh, this is just like this thing. But I do it all the time with volleyball, where I see athletes that are stronger in basketball, and I'll be like, you do this in basketball, right? It's the same movement. And then they start to think about it and they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Now it's trying to help them grow that or develop that mind of like, hey, this is what we're doing. It's not as complicated as maybe some people are making it seem, or what your brain might be putting it all together, like doing a math equation. It's not complicated. Let's simplify it, because there's always ways to simplify everything that we're doing to help you grow and develop, becoming a better all-around player.
Yeah. And there's a lot of studies on the physical therapy kind of aspect of it, about how when you're coaching or putting your kids in sports, like, you don't want them to be a one-trick pony. You want them to be in multiple sports growing up, so they can feel the difference, but also make those connections between sports and realize how my arm swing for volleyball is very similar to that tempo I need is going to be quick for softball to throw that ball from the outfield. Oh, I'm like sprinting and going into a layup in basketball. It's the same thing when you're doing high jump in track. Like, it's the same footwork. So making those connections early on as a young athlete, you can become an overall better athlete when you're older and when you get to high school.
And I think that some of the athletes nowadays forget the definition of what a true athlete is. Mm-hmm. An athlete is not a one sport tell all. An athlete is somebody that can come out and do and perform at all different type of sports, or what would you define as a sport, and be able to hold their own or compete or whatever it is. We're not talking about just a volleyball player athlete, just a baseball player athlete. We're talking about athletes that understand the development of it all.
Yeah.
As I have heard that too, where people have stressed that my trainer at the last place I used to work out at, he was like, my niece goes to a big school here. Like, she's only allowed to do one sport. And he's like, I hate that because she's really good athlete in all the sports and she had an injury in one. And he's like, she wouldn't have that injury if she was developing those muscles doing multiple sports and treating like your body learning from that point. Your body learning, your muscles learning how to
different
handle
directional
movements. So then we avoid those injuries.
Definitely. You definitely get stronger in different aspects on the off seasons, or trying out different techniques or movements or strength training, power training, all of those dynamic things.
All of it falling into the growth and development of an athlete. We are not just talking about what it takes to get by to win.
Yeah. And for all you youngins, we'll put it this way. You just want to be a unit of an athlete. You don't want to just be a star player of one sport. Be a unit and demolish anything that you strive to play.
That's why I wish, and my mom and I, we talk about this all the time, about how we wish there was a way to coach and teach and put into athletes the animal instinct. Because not everybody has that. For me, I'm like, if you put me on a basketball court, I'm gonna block somebody. I'm gonna compete. I'm here to win. Now, in the back of my mind, I know for sure I'm not the strongest out there on the court. I know I probably can't make but 2 shots out of 100.
But they don't know that.
They don't have to know that. And they definitely ain't gonna see that on my face. Put me on a softball. It's hard for me to say that about sports that I actually do know. Like softball, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna dominate. I'm going to push myself to dominate.
Okay, but from a coach's perspective, what would you say, what would growth kind of look like?
It's different for all ages, I will say that, because as a club director, I see kids from 9 years old all the way to 18 years old. The growth looks a little bit different in every age and time frame of everybody. But I used this past weekend, I'm going to use my 11U team as my example. I gave them a line that I was like, I want y'all to instill this, because at that age, it's everybody again wants to win. At that age, it's really about developing. Yes, I know for a fact we're probably not going to go in and win, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. And I've told them every single time that I just want them to grow and get better and fix what they can fix. And it's not about the wins. But I told them, I was like, I want them to have this engraved in their mind that making mistakes are how we learn. Making mistakes are how we are going to grow.
Yeah.
And I want them to understand that it is okay to make a mistake, because that is how we are growing. I don't know if that really answered your question.
Yeah. No, it's...
That line can really apply to all ages. It doesn't never stop. I still learn from my mistakes. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that again, or I'll do it differently and the outcome will be different. Every age group needs to have that same baseline. Not, I made a mistake, I'm going to lose the game, that's the end of the world, I suck as an athlete, all this spiral downfall.
From when I was coaching, I heard a lot of like from other athletes. They're like, oh, this girl wanted to switch. What are your thoughts on like switching clubs?
Oh, I hear it all the time through the grapevine of other people just talking. Oh, so-and-so wants to switch clubs. Or even athletes come and
Like,
ask,
oh,
and
I
they're
would
like, I want
play
to go
more over
switch.
here, or I would get more playing time over here, or these girls are winning every tournament. Next season, I'm going to go play for them.
I'm going to go, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. My mindset of it all is go. Okay. I want them to experience that. When my mom started this a long time ago, the club, we've never said like, no, we don't want that to happen, because like we want our athletes to like stay with us just because we've grown and developed with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to hold back this athlete from trying to get that experience if that's what they want, right? Because they're going to be like, they get all the medals, they win all the big tournaments. I want to experience that. I want to do that. Go experience it. Go get it. They will have more to offer, because I can only offer what we're offering right now.
That's what makes your club your club.
And exactly. And I laid that as a flat line right then and there for parents at parent meetings. I offer what I offer because that's all I can offer right now. Those bigger clubs have a bigger facility, a bigger this, a bigger that. They can offer more. Yeah. Obviously.
But sometimes more isn't always better.
No. And that's where I was going into next, where ironically, 9 out of 10 times the athletes come back. And it's nothing against of like a haha, I told you so. It's like, we're always going to be open arms for when you want to come back. They always come back and they're like, I did not learn anything or grow in the way that I was maybe expecting.
I've noticed that with a lot of like bigger clubs or name schools, is that once they have their favorites, they have their favorites. And then it's hard to like work your way up.
Which can be a whole nother topic in itself.
And then the coach doesn't want to give you that one-on-one attention. And it's like going to a smaller university. You get that one-on-one teacher moment. Yeah. And same thing with sports, is you get that one-on-one time, being able to critique and notice the little things, versus I feel like in a bigger school or bigger whatever, you can get missed. And unfortunately, I have seen that on some girls that come back, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry you had that experience. I'm glad that you're back to work on yourself, work on your growth.
Exactly that. And I'm going to pick up where we left off. And, or even if in the summer, they're like, can you do lessons with me? Because I don't feel like I got anything out of whole season, which is unfortunate, because they play those things to get those reps and that growth moment, and for them to come out and be like, I feel like I digressed. Which
you never want that feeling. You never want that feeling of regression or feeling like you didn't learn anything out of the weekend, out of the tournament, out of practice. You always want to be getting better each and every time that you have stepped onto the court, whether that be the tournament or not.
But also knowing that every program prioritizes development differently. They don't always work around developing their program equally the same. So for my program to be developed around majority of the time growth and understanding the game, we're going to do just that. We're working on everybody going through the same motion and same movement. I have said it before, but there's athletes that specialize in one sport. I understand that you feel like you're better in the middle than you are any other sport or position. That's fine. We'll get there. But you're still going to work on defense. You're still going to work on serve receive passes. You're still going to work on setting. Yeah. You never know what will happen, right? And there's been a lot of times where we get put in predicaments, or I've seen teams get put in predicaments where here's that day that Coach CiCi talked about where we only have 6 players and somebody's got to step it up. And I don't want to ever have an athlete be like, I don't know how to play that position.
Or when you get the parent, my daughter only plays this position. And it's like, okay, well, my club teaches all positions and teaches an athlete how to be a better athlete to play all positions. Like, what are you going to do when we only have 6 at the tournament and, your daughter only sets?
I've had a parent of a young athlete sit there and say, my daughter is only a libero. And I'm like, your daughter's 12. I'm sorry, I'm not to be rude, but she is not only anything. She needs to learn how to grow in all of it. And when I get to put her in a hitting position and she's able to hit the 10-foot line.
Oh, no, your daughter's a hitter, sir.
I'm not trying to be rude.
No.
And I'll take into consideration what you say. However, push your daughter to grow in all the other positions as well. No, don't just limit her, please.
That goes back to the growth. Because, cool, your daughter or your son plays this position in school. Well, how many people are in school? A roster of 25 where the coach isn't really doing that one-on-one. with your daughter and realizing maybe she has a potential elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can be a running back and not.
I've seen it happen with
Something
football. No,
else.
I've seen it happen with football where
Mhm.
in high school they're quarterbacks,
Mm-hmm.
but they get recruited into college to be
A cornerback or something.
yes,
I don't
running
know.
back or
Tight end, whatever.
other than the quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's what the coach expects me to be in.
Or
it
like
happens in the
so,
NFL.
So many people they play college soccer
Mhm.
and then they get drafted for the NFL to be a kicker. I'm
Yes,
like
exactly.
that just talks about how you should be able to grow and develop as an athlete.
Thank you. I was just about to
And you're like,
reiterate the
preach.
word athlete. We're not just here to win our sport. We're here to win as an individual athlete.
And get better.
Yes.
And be more athletic.
That's how I win, is by getting better.
Unit.
Learn how to be a unit.
That's my word of the day, unit.
But a lot of athletes realize this sometimes a little too late, that they were winning games, but they weren't building their skills. And the truth is that it's not supposed to be an either or conversation, which is what we're trying to get at. We're not trying to be like, you either win or you either grow. We're trying to learn how we can develop both of them being one unit. I'm going to use your word. One unit. Learn
Together.
how to be together.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes this conversation gets framed as it has to be one or the other. Either you're focused on the wins or you're focused on the development. But the truth is, the best environments actually have both.
Mm-hmm.
The ideal situation is whenever a team is focused on getting better every single day. And because of that improvement, winning starts to happen as that result.
It's
So
a result
once
of
the
action.
team,
Yeah.
yes, once this team starts to develop,
Mm-hmm.
winning falls in line. We're not practicing to learn how to win.
Mm-hmm.
We're practicing to learn how to get better in hopes that we catch the win. And usually when you see that kind of environment, there are a few things happening behind the scenes. Parents don't really see it all the time, but the work and time and energy that coaches put into it on developing the kids, on their working on their fundamentals, seeing what they can get better at. They're not just showing up to practice and being like, hey, how can we do this to get better? They're watching film. They're looking at other things outside of the sports realm.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at their grades in the classroom, making sure that they're staying on top of things. They're looking at how they're lifting weights in the weight room to make sure that they're taking care of themselves to then come back on the court or the field ready to go. They're looking at making sure they're developing the athlete, not just the sport player.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That also emphasizes on kind of those developmental things that we talked about, but it talks about the athlete itself as they grow. Now they're looking back on, man, I grew from this situation and now I'm not shanking the ball every time.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, okay, I got better with this. Or, okay, coach, I fixed my feet. Last time my feet were pointing this way. This time they're pointing this way. And I got that pass, perfect pass every time. So it's like them learning from it and growing from it themselves is what I as a coach like to see, or I as an athlete like to see, just putting it together.
Right. And this comes in 3 waves of like the coach, the athlete, and the teammate, holding them accountable for their actions, which we talked about a lot on the last episode with having that accountability for yourself is super important because that will make or break you.
It's not only the communication, it's having accountability with yourself. Are you going to put in the work? Are you going to show up? Or, hey, coach, I'm really struggling with this. How can I get better?
Right.
Or how can I help the team more? Right. Having that communication and vulnerability and that growth as a player.
Those players that improve the most are those ones that are asking questions, staying behind at practice, making sure that they're on top of their stuff, talking to coach, and that they're focusing in on those little details. And I love it when an athlete can identify, because I try to break it down into like 2 to 3 segments of like, to be a better athlete, to be a good athlete, you have to see what you're doing wrong, understand what you're doing wrong, and then fixing what you're doing wrong. And for an athlete to come to me and be able to do what you just said, you being like, hey, coach, I fixed my feet, or I felt my feet wrong and you told me to fix it and I did it. Great. I didn't have to coach you on that every single point, on that every single action, on that every single movement or moment.
And even if you do, like if your coach is like an amazing coach and is fixing you rep after rep at the beginning of you trying to learn this thing, trusting the process and embracing the hard times during practice so that you can take that as a positive push. It's slowly developing you into learning that new thing, that new concept.
Yeah.
So that way you can put it into practice.
And then that is what helps grow the team's success.
Mm-hmm.
Your individual growth builds into that team growth.
It's like all the pieces of the puzzle coming together to make the end product, right?
Yeah.
The end product, the winning product, which everybody wants, like we said, is the end product of everybody doing their job, everybody playing their role, everybody growing together to create this masterpiece. And that's when you get the medals. That's when you have the winning, the championships. That's when you see it, is when everybody's on their game and everybody's working as a unit, bottom line.
And the athletes, what I love that we wrote down is the athletes who improve the most are usually the ones who fall in love with the process and not just the outcome. For me personally, because I have built and went through all those trial and errors, I have loved now as an adult playing volleyball, win or lose.
Yeah.
No matter of the outcome.
I love that too, because I loved learning how to become a hitter. Like, not a specific hitter, but like learning my role, because now it pertains to so much that I do in life. I can be a coach and help volleyball players. I can help overhead athletes in general as a physical therapist. Like, hey, how do I make my arm go faster to pitch faster? This is like your volleyball swing. Like, how do you get faster? So now I know all of these techniques to make your arm faster, your swing faster. And I can use that in so many things. Same thing with jumping, with running, all of these things that you can break down and just using that later on in life.
And I also think that's why I enjoy coaching a lot. Because in my 9-to-5 job, I don't use everything that I learned as an athlete as much, or I can't really pertain all of it into my job. Looking at Excels has nothing to do with my athletic ability.
No, but the foundation.
My mindset and my growth process of it all does, because anything I do, I'm like, I want to get better at this. Help me understand what I'm doing so that next season or next year or next audit, I'm not struggling or asking the same exact question. I understand the process and I'm growing from that. But I think that's why I became a coach and wanted to become a coach, so that I can help these athletes understand and develop and grow and take everything that I've learned, not just volleyball related, everything I've learned as an athlete to now
make little
teach
athletes.
them, make little, but teach them to understand and to hopefully fall in love with the process of it all. They might not see it at that one practice that I'm preaching at it,
but the consistency of you saying it,
but
it'll get there.
Or at the end of the season, they're like, I finally got what Coach CiCi said. Or that moment that they're away from me and in school ball, whether it be volleyball, softball, basketball, track, they're sitting there and they're like, here's that moment that I hit.
Oh, that's what she was talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Those aha moments.
Whenever development is the focus, winning becomes the byproduct of it. It's not the only goal, but it is often the result of doing things the right way. So winning and growth can coexist with each other. We just have to prioritize the development part and hold ourselves and others accountable. So building that team as one, trusting the process of the coach, and remembering that the best teams do not chase the wins, they chase the improvement, and then the winning follows.
I like that.
So ask yourself, listeners, would you rather win a national championship sitting the bench, or would you lose more games but become a starting level player, understanding the game, growing as an overall developed athlete? It's okay to have an answer for yes on both. It's okay if you sat there and you're like, no, I want to sit the bench and win a national championship game. I want to feel that. I want to see what it feels like to just be a part of that growth and that moment. That's okay too. But at the end of the day, personally, I still feel like you need to have a little bit of both. I feel like you still need to have that winning mindset of, I want to get better as an athlete.
What would you choose?
What would I choose?
Yeah.
As a person who's been a part of both, I would choose. Wait. Why are you laughing?
No shade, no shade.
Because I have. We both have.
Okay. No.
We both have in club and in college.
In college, this was thinking, yeah.
You were thinking of college?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, I didn't ride the bench. I'm sorry, low blow.
Wait, who rode the bench?
Well, you just said it's both.
I didn't ride the bench.
You just said as somebody who's done both.
Yeah, won a national championship and somebody who's developed as a player. Like I'm thinking.
I thought you meant like somebody who has sat the bench at a national championship.
Well, that too. I didn't think of that, but that's funny.
I was like, oh god.
I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
Let's be honest.
I got to play as a freshman. I didn't go in as much. I got to play.
But sophomore year when we went to national championship. Did we both play? Did we not play? I can't remember. See, you're not going to remember anyways.
I honestly don't even remember.
So be a better athlete.
I just remember going to Missouri. I don't really remember the game. I remember getting shirts from the Ozark.
Oh, I don't think I played in Missouri. Which was funny because my mom and Stacy went.
That was freshman year? That was
sophomore year, I think. Freshman year, we didn't travel.
Yeah, we did.
We went to the first round.
What's crazy? We went first round every time. We didn't go past first round. But
okay, then my junior year.
Your junior year, y'all flew to
Missouri.
No, y'all flew
Sioux
to
City, something.
Further.
Yeah, and then we played in the national championship. We were at the tournament.
Well, my mindset was on club.
Sorry.
Which was funny.
We never got there.
We did.
I never got to national championship.
Yes, okay. But we both won a bid at a big tournament to get to the national tournament. You did your senior year of club. We were both in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. That's what that meant?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We had to win a big tournament, get a bid, and go to that tournament.
Oh, okay.
But now that you brought it up, as somebody who has literally been a part of both,
mm-hmm.
I love that I can say that I've been a part of both. Been a part of a winning national organization
mm-hmm.
in club. We both have in school. To then turn around and be a part of a club team that pushed on their craft and working on getting better as an individual. The reason we play club is to get better, to go back to school and do well.
Mm-hmm.
That was our focus. That was my growth process. I enjoyed that most personally for the bragging rights of I can do it. Mm-hmm. Put me in, coach. I can do whatever you need me to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I sat the bench all the time on just a winning team, I'm going to be that athlete that's like, I don't know what to do.
I didn't earn this.
I don't know. You can put me here, but I don't know what to do. I don't like that. I don't like that. Yes. That's not perfect. I don't like that.
That type of player.
Yeah. I want to be the player that's like, no, put me anywhere and I'm going to perform for you.
I think that's what I would choose. I would choose becoming a better athlete and mm-hmm. losing, because I feel like that would get me to the national championship. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just ride the bench and then get to the national championship. That's not fun. I didn't earn it. I want to become the best athlete that I can be. And I know if I have that mindset, it'll take me further. So I think I would choose the first one, or it's whatever. Second one. Yeah. Yeah. Because I know it'll take me to that championship if that's where it's supposed to lead me to.
And I'm okay with the loss of it all, especially if we gave it our all.
That's fair. And I feel like athletes should really sit back and ask themselves mm-hmm. these important questions. Am I actually improving? Am I being challenged? Am I learning a new skill? And am I actually gaining meaningful feedback? I think those are like key questions that athletes should ask themselves to see if there is growth, to see if there's opportunity for improvement.
Which leads into the thought that I just had with being a good coach. Because you can be a great athlete. And I'm going to say this looking at the camera, you can be a great athlete. But unfortunately, that does not mean that you know how to coach the game.
Ooh.
Or coach the sport. I love that you can go out there and perform. At the end of the day, when you go into the coaching role, you need to be able to hit all the points and have that understanding of every athlete.
It's hard.
Yes.
Not everybody who plays can coach.
Which will lead into that meaningful feedback. Mm-hmm. Because I've had athletes that have, again, won games, won tournaments, but are not growing in their skill. And I'm like, what is happening? You should be better than, in my opinion, you should be better than what you are. especially being under a big program like that and having those reps and those skills and those, what an outsider thinking is like those meaningful feedback. And they're like, they don't say anything to me. They didn't say anything when I kept missing my serve or how I was missing my serve, or there was no feedback.
Critique. Yeah. And as a novice, like learning a new skill, you need that feedback.
Yes.
In order to learn the skill and then retain the skill to what you're doing.
I always want to learn a new skill. I'm like, I want to go to coaching school, and I don't even coach in high school or in middle school, but I want to go to coaching school just so I can hear those conferences of other people's perspectives and just learning how to get better as a coach.
Yeah. I think that pertains a little bit to the parents as well. When you, as a parent, looking at a coach and looking at your athlete and thinking, is my athlete developing the skills that they need? Are they creating that confidence? Are they actually learning the game? Are they actually improving and growing not only as a player, but mentally and physically? Right. And I think those are some key takeaways that parents can ask themselves before starting to question other things.
And remember that a trophy only lasts that season, but development lasts an entire career.
We would not be here if it wasn't for that development.
No, not at all. My big takeaway that I want from today is that winning is great, but I am a firm believer in it is the growth that builds better athletes, better teammates, and longer careers. The goal isn't just to win games today. It is to become the athlete who wins for tomorrow. And we would love to hear from you all on what drives you in your sport, or even what caused you to hit the bump in the road. After hearing us talk about it all, is winning more important to you, or would you rather grow into carrying a win? Because that one win doesn't matter for today, but the development will matter for tomorrow and the next time. We can't wait to hear from you all as you kind of break down your wins versus your development. And if you aren't developing, but you want to get better at your sport, at your craft, start watching videos, reach out to us, start talking and connecting with your coach a little bit more. And if they are not feeding you your wants and your needs, then maybe you go on to the next club or the next organization or the next thing that'll help you get to where you want to be developed at. Because you can always be a better athlete no matter the age. You can always be the better coach, be a better parent, understanding the overall meaning of who we are as an athlete and who we are as an individual. So we'll see you all next week on Athlete Life Unfiltered.
And you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and listen to wherever you hear your podcasts. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.